I think it's on. Great. Okay, so first, I wanted to thank you so much for supporting our neighborhood association. It makes a huge difference to us. It inspires people to make their yards look beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I wanted to ask you to tell the neighborhood a bit about Chambers Nursery and how this place came to be here, and your role in making it be here.
The nursery I started in October the 15th, 1972. And the reason why I went into the nursery business, that I worked for a nursery and I got interested in plants, and therefore I worked and tried to find some nursery that I could buy, and this one was already here. And the nursery was first started in 1952 by Ernest Baxter, and then I came here again in October 15th, 1972. Since then, I have changed about everything here. The first year we was here, I hauled off, I think, 70-something dump loads of trash that was here.
Wow.
And the first year that I was here, full year, was 1973. And we ran that year as much as we run now in 2 weeks for the entire year. I have increased the greenhouses, added 2 greenhouses onto the property. There's a house here on the property. When I first bought the property and I moved it, there was a shed out here that was little tacky looking, so I removed it, and the rest of it has just become with hard work and all, and with experience every year, that more knowledge you have, the more you know how to increase your plants, as far as buying the correct plants for everyone, and to who to buy from and all. And our main goal here is to have the best plants that we can find at the most reasonable price. And we are here not to just take and take people's money. We're here to try to help them and to sell them what they really need and what would be best to solve their problems with, if they have a problem. And we are honest that we'll tell people if they want to buy a plant, if it won't fit in the areas where they want it to, if it's a sun plant or shade plant, or if it's a perennial or annual. And I have emphasized here that we're very proud of us, that we have always been honest with our customers, and that's our goal, to stay in business and to be honest with our customers and do what's best also for them.
Can you help people understand the difference between quality plants? I mean, why it takes work to find a quality distributor or a quality supplier? What's the difference between a good quality plant and just, something that you can find over at Home Depot?
Most of the chain stores and a few of the nurseries, and I won't mention them, because some of them here are local, that they buy a price. And what they want to do is sell you a price, not a quality plant. They don't care about that. All they want is your money. Mm-hmm. And we want to sell you a quality price and take all the money from you we can. I'm kidding. No, we just want to sell you a quality plant at the most reasonable price that we can stay in business with. And you pretty much have to know who the best suppliers are. And we pretty much stick with like 3 or 4 different growers here in the area with bedding plants, And then our shrubs now, we go all the way to Mobile, Alabama to get them, and we get a lot of them out of South Texas where they have a little bit better climate to grow plants there than we do here. And a few come from East Texas. And we have not brought in plants out of California for years. We have boycotted them.
So,
Not necessarily boycott them, it's just too expensive to bring them in out of California with the freight as high as it is today. The plants, for example, that we buy out of South Texas, we have to make sure that we get them in here, hopefully, after all the cold weather is over with. And if it's not over with and we have some cold weather that will damage the plants, then we have to either bring them, put them in the greenhouse, or cover them. And it becomes a hassle to have to do all this. Again, we try to wait until late February to bring them in here.
have you noticed over the years changes in trends or fashions for plants?
The biggest change in plants is that the size of the container that the plant comes in. When we first started in business, the largest bedding plant that you could buy was in about a 2-inch square pot. And nowadays, the most common plant sold would be probably in a 4-inch pot or larger. There are still some growers that will do 6-packs, and some people still prefer the 6-pack.
So how would you explain that change? Is it because people are less patient to see things grow?
Yes, they want instant color, and they want a plant big enough that they think that will survive when they plant it. And the growers have changed also. They quit, growing in the small containers.
Are there particular mistakes that people make that you notice, or that do you have any advice that you would want to give neighborhood gardeners?
On what you just asked there about making mistakes, we have plants on there, and they may say drought resistant. That don't mean that you can take a plant out there and plant it and forget it and never water it, because if you do that, it's going to die within a week or two. It has to be established before you can go by what the label says on there, And the biggest mistake people make is watering, and they either underwater or overwater, and don't plant your plants and then go on vacation for 2 weeks after you plant them. And that's a mistake a lot of people make. They come back, oh, the plants are dead. So, and another mistake is that people wants to plant a lot of the plants, especially the shrubs. The deeper, the better, they think, and that's not the correct way to plant them. And we have instruction here when people buy shrubs now that we'll give them that shows them, and they can instructions on there that they can plant their plants by that instructions on there.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to have automatic sprinkler systems, and they're on even when it's raining. And I know we've had a lot of rain in the last month, and it just feels as though it drowned out some of the annuals that I put in on our patio. But there's a lot of clay, I think, in the soil. Do you recommend digging up beds and putting in proper topsoil?
The recommendation we give the customers is that you need to dig down about 10 to 12 inches if you have a lot of clay soil. And we don't recommend you use topsoil to replace it with. We recommend that you use sunshine potting soil. And for example, in the summertime, people plant earlier in the spring begonias in very heavy clay soil, and they just melt in July. My wife, when she was alive, would take and dig down about 10 or 12 inches in depth and plant them in sunshine potting soil. And in the summertime, hers was beautiful, where the others were all dead. So that makes a lot of difference in how you prepare your soil before you plant.
Do you have a favorite memory of all these years at Chambers Nursery?
I'll tell this here. It's a little funny. Just one lady come in and bought 20 dwarf 1 gallon Burford Hollies. And 2 weeks later she called up and said that all of them had died. And I said, ma'am, the ones that you bought and the ones you bought out of, I said, got about 200 of them out there. And I said, not a single one of them has died. She said, huh, I guess I picked the 20 bad ones in, didn't I? So, unfortunately, we didn't have Lotto then. If we hadn't had Lotto then, I would ask her to give me the 7 numbers to play the Lotto. She was that good at picking. That's the truth.
Wow. Oh, well, do you have any other advice you'd like to share for the neighborhood?
Just keep up the good work. We want to appreciate all of your business that you have given us in the past and what you will give us here in the future. And if you have any questions or need any advice or anything like that, feel free to come in and talk to us or call us on the phone, and we'll be more than happy to help you.
Thank you so much.